January 3rd, a Monday, in 2011. The next day was the last day of New Year's break. I came to Akihabara for the third day in a row. I went to visit Ferris's condo and check up on Maho.
いや、違うか。桐生萌香の様子を確認するためだな。
Oh, so did Moeka stay the night at Ferris's then? Interesting. Maho and Moeka had ended up staying together yesterday, without anyone really thinking about it. Moeka would get to interview Maho, and Maho would feel better having someone around, so this was probably the best option. But I knew something about Moeka that no one else did. She's a rounder. Ooh. Kiryu Moeka was a rounder. Holy crap. You know what? I'm gonna be honest here. I am really liking the Moeka rounder sprite in Steins Gate 0. Like, in the original Steins Gate game, it was decent, but holy crap. They enhanced her rounder outfit and her sprite with the rounder outfit on. They enhanced both of them in 0. Holy crap. You know what? I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion here, but of all of the Steins Gate cast members, Moeka's the hottest. Yuki's second place. Yuki's second place with Luskinen, because I'm gonna be honest here, this is actually not ironic. I actually do have to say Luskinen is kind of attractive looking. But Moeka is more attractive than Luskinen. I'm gonna have to confess that now. It's only been 2 minutes, I'm already, ranking Steins Gate characters by how attractive they are. But I'm gonna be honest here, with Steins Gate characters, in the scale of attractiveness, there's not really that many characters that rank high, other than Moeka, Yuki, and Luskinen for me. She didn't know self-defense. She knew how to kill someone if she needed to. But who would she try to kill? In this world line, I wasn't looking for the IBN 5100 or making a time machine. The rounders were probably ignoring us.
理屈では分かっているんだが。
There's something still bothering you. Even on the last day of vacation, Akihabara was as lively as ever. Hours were shorter than usual, but everywhere from the appliance stores to the maid cafes were still open. In fact, there were lucky bags and special New Year sales that you can only get today, and some customers had come for those. The sidewalks were filled with girls in dazzling kimonos who'd come from the nearby shrine, as well as the usual Akihabara otaku. This place was even more chaotic than usual.
そういえば、メイクインも正月休まず営業中なんだよな。
Ferris and Mary both said that they were working there today. Are we gonna swing by May Queen? Are we gonna swing by there?
じゃあ、マンションにはあの二人しかいないのか。
No, I think we're only gonna go to the condo. Darn. It would have been fun to see another May Queen scene, but we get a lot of May Queen scenes, so maybe that would have been a little bit too much to add to the storyline. Kuroki-san should be there too, I guess.
大丈夫だよな。
It was hard to imagine Moeka doing anything to Maho, like, for example, attacking her. Moeka had no reason to do that. But even if I knew that in my head, it didn't make controlling my emotions any easier. It had bugged me enough last night that I'd even barely been able to sleep. If I saw the two of them living together without any kind of problem, maybe I'd feel better. I hurried to Ferris's condo. Oh!
ようこそおいでくださいました、岡部様。
This is the first time we're seeing Kuroki in the game. This is the first time we're seeing Kuroki in the Steins Gate game. He was shown in the Steins Gate anime, but they did not show a sprite of him in the game. Holy crap. So Kuroki was able to, jump up the statuses of the Steins Gate character listings and became a minor character with a sprite now. Oh, that's awesome! You know what? I'm happy that Kuroki has a sprite. I'm really happy because he deserved one. Kuroki deserved one for all the stuff he did in the previous game. Like, he deserves a sprite. Oh man, I'm happy that Kuroki has a sprite. Kuroki-san the butler welcomed me. He was the ultimate butler, who'd taken care of Ferris after her parents died and left her all alone. Oh. I knew that her dad died, but I didn't know anything about her mom. So Ferris's mom is also dead. Oh man, poor girl. He still helped her in her work, and was one of the few people that she trusted completely.
申し訳ありません。お嬢様は外出しております。
あ、はい、分かってます。ヒヤジョーさんに会いに来たんですが。
お二人は客間にいらっしゃいます。どうぞお上がりください。
ありがとうございます。
それでは私はこれで。
Kuroki-san spun around 180 degrees with the same trained and effortless movement as always, then went to take the shortest path back to his room.
おっと。
He must have tripped because he staggered slightly and stopped. Oh, what's going on, Kuroki?
失礼いたしました。私としたことが。
大丈夫ですか？
疲れているのかもしれません。お恥ずかしいところをお見せしました。
Aww, poor Kuroki.
あ、いえ。
少し休めば問題ありません。失礼いたします。
His expression didn't change, but the tone of Kuroki-san's voice was slightly embarrassed as he headed for his room.
珍しいものを見たな。どんな時でも冷静沈着なロボットみたいな人が来客の前でよろめくなんて。
Well, everyone's human, Okabe. Even servants are human. Come on, Okabe. Come on.
疲れてると言っていたけど、何か心労の種でもあるのかな。
Well, he does have to take care of two guests. And he is kind of old-seeming. No. For now, I need to worry about Maho.
ヒヤジョーさん、いるか？
岡部さん、入ってちょうだい。
なんだこれは。
I was stunned as I came into the room. It was definitely the same guest room I'd been in several times before. Probably. But everything about it had changed. Maho! No! Maho! Maho, no! Maho! Oh, Maho! First, the bed was gone, and had been replaced by a big desk and a low Japanese table. Maho was sitting at the desk, glaring at a 16-inch laptop as she sipped coffee from a mug. There was a small laptop on the low table, and Moeka was kneeling directly on the carpet in front of it, legs splayed, tapping away at the keyboard. Behind them was a steel bookshelf, and I could see English language journals and fashion magazines sticking out of it. Oh. Interesting. Until yesterday, this had been a guest room. In less than a day, it had been transformed into Maho and Moeka's workspace. Oh! That's why Kuroki's tired! He was helping set up the guest room for the two of them! Okay. So, I'm taking a guess that Maho won't be going back to a hotel room. Instead, she's gonna live with Ferris for the next few weeks.
もうちょっとで終わるから、その辺に座っててくれる？
Maho put down the coffee cup without looking away from the screen, which was filled with complicated and constantly changing 3D graphs. Moeka tapped at the key silently, without even bothering to look at me.
何がどうなってるんだ？まさかまた世界線が変わった？
No, it did not. I quickly covered my mouth with my hand, but the two of them were so engrossed in their work, they didn't respond at all.
よしと。
Once she hit a stopping point, Maho spun around in her chair to face me.
こんにちは、岡部さん。
She didn't seem to think anything was out of the ordinary.
もしかして様子を見に来てくれたの？
I'm sorry, but I just like the reaction to Okabe just looking around like, this room's changed so much. It has to be time travel! Instead of thinking, oh, maybe I should connect the dots between Kuroki being tired and the complete transformation of a room within a day. I just like how Okabe went straight to, thinking that the world might change rather than, thinking a little bit deeper and connecting dots.
せっかく来てくれたのにごめんなさい。今から桐生さんの取材を受けなきゃならないの。
それはいいが、この部屋の惨状を説明してくれないか。
惨状？なかなか居心地のいい環境だと思うんだけど。
昨日はこんなに散らかってなかったぞ。
Maho seemed confused for a moment, but finally seemed to understand what I was saying.
出歩くのが危険なんだったら、ここで研究をするしかないでしょ？仕事をしやすいように模様替えしたのよ。
I mean, I can never judge someone for being a mess with their workstation as long as there's no trash lying around. Like, as long as there's no trash lying around, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine if there's no trash lying around. Like, you can make a mess without, letting trash be all over the place. Like, if there's, wrappers of candy, soda cans, that's a little bit too much. But if there's just, books, papers, and other materials, I think that's fine for the most part. It doesn't look nice, but I'm not going to judge someone's way of organizing things, because that's just another way of organization. Chaotic organization. That's the better term for messes that do not have trash mixed in with them.
模様替え？
This went far beyond what I'd call reorganization. Neither Dara nor I were very good at cleaning, but we weren't this bad.
これ全部自分たちで用意したのか？
そうよ。桐生さんもここで記事を書くって言うから、二人で必要な家具や資料を洗い出したの。ね。
この短時間で机や本棚はどこから持ってきたんだ？
Before any of that, let's see what Moeka has to say. I can write articles anywhere, but I'm a bodyguard, so I need to stay here by Dr. Hiyajo's side. You know what? I love Bodyguard Moeka. I love this storyline. I'm really loving this storyline. You're so far behind the times, Okabe-kun. You can get most anything off the net in a day these days. I asked Dr. Hiyajo what she wanted and ordered it off the net. Like a boss.
てっきり。
てっきり何？
あ、いや、なんでもない。
I thought the world line had changed, and I hadn't realized it. But evidently, I'd been worried over nothing.
机や棚の組み立ても二人でやったのか？
執事の方にお願いしたわ。あの人すごいわね。
So that's why Kuroki's tired. Yep, I was right.
はあ、だから黒木さん疲れてたのか。
That explained a lot. But just hearing all this had exhausted me. I found a place to sit down and...
おっと。
I caught my foot on something. I looked out to see a thick book. Its pages open.
これは？
それはまた後で見るから避けて通って。ページをめくれないように注意してね。
アートって？
概算だけど19時間後くらいかしら。
Whoa, wait. You schedule your readings, Maho? Okay, that's impressive.
本棚があるんだから読まない間はしまっておけばいいんじゃないか?
Well, she's not done yet. I mean, I have a bunch of books on the floor that I'm not done reading yet, but I'm still reading them, so I just leave them on the ground, because why would I put an unfinished book in a shelf? I can agree with Maho on this one, I can agree. If that's her reasoning.
すぐに再読するつもりの本をいちいち本棚に戻すなんて非合理的よ。科学者の取るべきアプローチではないわ。
そういう問題か?
I looked at the floor and saw 4 other open books. By the way, all the books I have on the ground, they're not open, they're at least closed. I just put playing cards in them because I don't need to use those playing cards right now, so I'm good. I just use them as bookmarks. Why buy a bookmark? You just use leftover playing cards that you don't use. I mean, those playing cards are old, so no one wants to play with those cards because, well, you know, every scratch on a card can tell a person what that card is. Like, if you recognize the scratches on the back of a card, you can tell what somebody has, and you can cheat at games. So, yeah, I don't use those cards anymore because no one wants to play with cards that, you know, are all beat up, because you can see the markings on beat up cards if you know the cards. So I just use them as bookmarks. I just use them as bookmarks. That wasn't all. The carpet was strewn with papers. Used cups of it. Oh, I was just offending you. Come on, throw away the instant ramen cups. Used cups of instant ramen, bath towels, handkerchiefs, and other things. Bath towels? Why is there bath towels on the ground? Okay, I can defend messes part of the time, but instant ramen and bath towels and handkerchiefs? I'm sorry, that's where I draw the line. I'm fine with books and papers, but I am not fine with towels, ramen, and handkerchiefs. Their old clothes were lying out too. I saw a shirt, a t-shirt, a blouse, socks, tights, and other items of clothing. And also, I cannot agree with clothing because, come on, just put it in a basket. Just put it in a basket if you have a basket, or just throw all the clothes in a corner. It was a lot like when I visited Moeka's house in the other world line. Before all this. Oh! Moeka and Maho are just made for each other. They're made for each other because they both like to, have similar organization techniques. I'm not gonna call them messes. I'm gonna call them organization technique. A chaotic one. So yeah, they have similar organization techniques with each other. Evidently, neither Moeka nor Maho were the type to worry about keeping things clean. There was enough space around the low table to move, but there was enough junk around where Moeka was sitting that it would be impossible to sit next to her.
本や書類以外のものは横にどかしてもいいかな?
どうぞ。
Since they'd given their permission, I leaned over to pick up a pink towel. Oop. It wasn't a towel. It was a pink bra. Oh, come on! Come on! Oh yeah, Okabe is that sort of character where if they see a bra, they'll be like, oh no, it's a bra. Honestly, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I mean, he's the protagonist. He has to be embarrassed whenever he picks up anything, that's like an undergarment. My brain utterly failed to process this new development, and I froze with my hand still holding it high in the air, and you're making it worse for yourself. Oh, poor Moeka. Moeka was looking up at me blankly. Oh boy. What is she gonna text? Okabe-kun, that's mine. You can't just go touching a girl's underwear. Why would you say of all response. That's the thing you say. Okabe, of all the things you could reply, in the context that's right here, you say, I couldn't help it. Damn it, Okabe! God damn it, Okabe! Come on, dude! Dude! I screamed and threw the bra away. Poor Moeka. Moeka glanced downward. Her cheeks were slightly flushed. Her hands quickly moved to cover her chest. Not this timeline. That doesn't happen in this timeline.
下心なんて全くないぞ。
I tried as best as I could to get it out of my mind, then found a space in the corner that was still relatively clean, and sat down.
お茶はセルフサービスよ。冷蔵庫はそこ。
There was a round, pink fridge in the corner, with plastic cups on top.
冷蔵庫も買ったのか？
Alright. It's so convenient, having a fridge at work. I agree. You don't have to leave to go get drinks, so the only time you have to leave the room is to go to the bathroom. Crying Daru with a thumbs up. By the way, how does she have these emojis? Oh yeah, she's friends with Daru, so he probably gave her some emojis.
社会不適合者が2人集まるとこういう空間が生まれるのか。
Okabe!
主観の相違よ。
She right? She right?
むしろ知的生産活動に最適化された生活空間と言ってほしいわね。
She right?
はあ。
It looks like I've been worried over nothing, after all. If nothing else, Moeka didn't seem to feel any animosity towards Maho, and Maho seemed to be enjoying the company. The thought of the two of them picking out furniture together honestly seemed kinda cute. I was glad I came to check on things. I'd be able to sleep just fine tonight. With my task completed, I could have just left, but I decided to stay and watch the two of them a little while longer.
じゃあ、桐生さん、そろそろ取材を始めましょうか。わかった。
Oh, are we gonna watch the interview? Alright. Moeka closed the laptop and moved it to the side, then started to go through her bag.
取材って具体的に何をするんだ？
インタビューよ。
インタビュー？
Well, Moeka is a reporter, so...
本当なら、昨日ホテルで取材を受ける予定だったの。
The special is on the front lines of artificial intelligence research. Oh yeah! I'm supposed to write about Dr. Hiyajo, what she done and what she's working on now. I can find all that from the net, but that doesn't make for a good article, you know? So I thought maybe I could start with a long interview with Dr. Hiyajo.
意外と仕事熱心なんだな。
Well, you have to do something to keep that job.
文章を書くのは好きだから。
Okay, you know what? Even though I do have divisive opinions about Moeka from the first game, I am loving every single thing that she's saying in Steins Gate 0 so far. I'm loving every single scene with her so far in this game. And the very few scenes she has in Steins Gate 0, she's already kind of redeeming her characters for me. And the fact that she's kind of hanging out with Maho, and she's kind of like being a big comparison to, you know, Maho in personality and sort of, you know, well, not in personality per se, but, you know, in lifestyle. I'm just liking that. You know what? This might be the chapter of Steins Gate that gets me to finally just say that I don't have divisive opinions about Moeka. Yeah, I'm gonna say this now. This might be the ending that makes Moeka, you know, a better character for me. Though, of course, I still fucking cannot get over the things that she did to Mayuri. But I might be able to, give her some more leeway. Like, I've already given her some leeway because of her backstory in the original Steins Gate game. But this ending of Steins Gate, it might get me to think of Moeka in a better light. So I'm really excited. I just hope that Moeka does not do anything terrible to Maho. Please don't betray Maho. You're actually seeming to be a really cool character right now. Don't betray Maho. Be a character that I can actually, begin to like a little bit more. In the Alpha World line, Moeka's job was just to cover the harder work has around her. And even then, she'd been fired for incompetence, as I recall. But in this world line, she seemed to be a hard worker. Hold on, why as if she's not even around her at all? Well, she might be around her still, but maybe? Oh, why as if she's not even around her? Holy shit. Well, no, she still has combat training. So she has to be around her, but she's around her that still does a lot for her job. That must be it. Was she actually working as around her?
私としてもこんなにお世話をかけているからせめて桐生さんの仕事に協力できればなって人工知能研究について多くの人に知ってもらえれば私にとってもプラスになるし桐生さん準備できたかしら
Moeka nodded, and the interview began. Or it didn't, actually. Oh no, Moeka does not know how to conduct an interview, does she?
弱ったわね桐生さんは口下手だとは思っていたけどここまでとはごめんなさい
Even I could tell that Moeka was doing a horrible job. It wasn't even an interview. Instead of asking questions, Moeka just sat there with a memo pad and ball pen in her hands, completely unmoving. She looked like she was about to cry. Maho and I tried our best to help move things along, but it didn't work.
どうしましょうかまた後日にする締め切りがスケジュールギリギリなの
Poor Moeka.
そうそれなら今日中に済ませてしまうべきねとはいえ今すぐ桐生さんの口下手がどうにかなるってことはないわよね
I mean, even Maho and Okabe are introverts themselves. Like, come on. Like, you can't really, make an introvert into an extrovert really that easily anyway. Plus, come on, being an introvert's not that bad.
ごめんなさい
Oh, you don't need to apologize. Moeka apologized in a soft, thin voice. She still looked like she could cry in frustration at any moment.
ああ違うの誤解しないで桐生さんを責めているわけじゃないわ今のは準備なのよ問題を解決するために検討すべき条件を列挙しているだけ
問題？
ええインタビューを完遂したいこれが問題条件としては桐生さんが取材できないのであれば別のインタビュアーが必要それもできれば情報工学にそれなりの知識がある人
I wonder who that could be!
かつ今すぐに手伝ってくれる人
I wonder who that could be! Honestly, Daru!
あ
The two of them looked at me at the same time.
え、もしかして俺のことか？
難易度の低い問題だったわね 岡部さん、ちょっとお願いできない？
いや、そんな突然言われても。
岡部さんは条件にぴったりよ。専門も多少近いし、勘どころを抑えた質問をしてくれるんじゃないかしら。
Wait, what was Okabe's major again? Oh, I forgot Okabe's major. I know it's something to do with information science, but... What major was Okabe again? Was he? I don't remember Okabe's major. Shoot. I think he said it earlier in the game, but I forgot it. I don't remember Okabe's major.
何せ、レスキネン教授に一目惚れされるような潜在的才覚をお持ちのようですから。
Maho, I think he fell in love with Okabe for different reasons than what you're thinking. He fell in love with the information in Okabe's head. That's what he fell in love with.
買いかぶらないでくれ。どこにでもいる典型的な日本の大学生だよ。
冗談よ。でも適任だと思ってるのは本当。
いや、しかし。
Ask for me too. I can pay a little. Thanks in advance. Thanks in advance. Thanks in advance. Well, when he hears he might get paid for it, that's when he considers. An interview. Oh my god. Is it because Moeka said that she'll pay him? He's actually, into the idea. Damn it, Okabe. If that would give me an opportunity to observe how they lived, and also give me some pay, it wasn't a bad idea. Damn it, Okabe. I've been spending enough time at the lab over the holidays that it had been cutting into my work hours. And lately, I'd started to dream about going to Victor Conjuya University too. The chance to talk to Hiyajo Maho, a very talented AI engineer, was invaluable. A lot of people probably would have paid money for it.
わかったわ。俺もヒアジョさんの研究には興味があるしな。俺でよければ協力させてくれ。
ありがとう。そう言ってくれると助かるわ。ありがとう。
You're welcome.
それじゃあ早速始めましょう。桐生さん、記録はどうする？録音する。
Moeka took out a voice recorder and put it on the desk.
私のペースで進めてしまっていいのよね。
Whoa! Holy crap! Okabe looks so fucking serious! Holy shit! That is like the most serious expression I've ever seen. What the hell, Okabe? I did not think you were able to do something so serious looking. Holy crap! Wow! Wow!
いい。自由に喋ってくれて、後で編集する。
俺は何を聞けばいいんだ？一応言っておくと、俺だって人工知能については平均的日本人程度の知識しか持ってないぞ。
そうね。私が思いつくままに喋ってもいいけど、せっかくだからディスカッション形式にしましょうか。その方が話も弾むでしょうし。
The second she said those words, my mind filled with memories of the past. With cursing. Oh yeah.
まあ、はい。いいですよ。ディスカッション形式の方が話も弾むでしょうし。
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Cursing.
岡部さん、どうかした？大丈夫。
Both Maho and Moeka were staring at me, confused.
ディスカッション形式がお気に召さないなら。
いや、そういうわけじゃない。 すまない。クリスが君と同じことを言っていたのを思い出したんだ。
クリスがいつ？
彼女が来日した時に ATF でタイムマシンの講義を。
No, that didn't happen! No, she didn't. That happened in another world line. In this world line, Kursu died before she ever gave that lecture on the time machine, or came to the lab.
あ、いや、勘違いかな。腰を折ってすまなかった。気にしないでくれ。
そう？大丈夫ならいいけど。さて、何から始めましょうか。そうね。人工知能の研究はコンピューターの誕生とほぼ同時期からスタートしているの。私たちが作っている人工知能の心臓部はニューラルネットワークという技術をベースにしているのだけど、この技術が提案されたのが1950年頃。世界初のノイマン型コンピューターとされるエニアックが発表されたのが1946年よ。ほぼ同じよね。
ENIAC von Neumann architecture. Ah, what are the ENIAC, and von Neumann architecture? The electronic numerical integrator and computer, the very first computer built in 1947 in America. It was used to calculate artillery tables, and the mathematician John von Neumann participated in its development. It used over 170 vacuum tubes, 170,000 vacuum tubes, that's a lot, and was over 1,000 times faster than existing electronic calculators. However, vacuum tubes at the time were very poorly made, and several would break and have to be replaced each day. ENIAC is often called the world's first general-purpose electronic computer, but others, such as the Atanasoff-Berry computer, existed before it did. Thus, it is more precisely described as the first computer that became widely known. The Atanasoff-Berry computer. Alright, I'm just gonna look up the Atanasoff-Berry computer because I'm just curious. I mean, the Atanasoff-Berry computer, as stated by the game, was technically a computer that came before the ENIAC. The Atanasoff-Berry computer, ABC, was the first automatic electronic digital computer. Limited by the technology of the day and execution, the device has remained somewhat obscure. The ABC's priority is debated among historians of computer technology because it was neither programmable nor Turing-complete. The first real programmable and Turing-complete machines, the Z3 and the Colossus computer from 1941 to 1945, used similar tube-based technology as ABC. Ah, that really does not give me too much about the Atanasoff-Berry computer, so I'm gonna read a little bit more of this page. So, okay, before we go on, this is the ABC. This right here is the ABC, at least a version of it, a replica. Yeah, that's a replica that's at the Durham Center in Iowa State University. The developer was John Vincent Atanasoff with help of graduate student Clifford Merrily. So that's why it gets the name Atanasoff-Berry, because it's both of their computers. And it's very convenient because it spells ABC, which, you know what? ABC is easy to remember. Though this is an obscure computer that I'm just learning about now. It was released in 1942, which was 79 years ago. Only one unit was sold and made. And the CPU has more than 300 vacuum tubes at 60 Hz. Woo! Wouldn't you want a computer to run at that speed? I'm not sure if that's good or bad. The memory has 3,000 bits, and the display was decimal via front panel display. The input was decimal via standard IBM 80-column punch cards, and the mass was 700 pounds. 320 kilograms. Holy shit. That's heavy. 700 pounds? You need like 4 people to carry that thing. What the hell? Maybe 3, but jeez. Wow. I'm just gonna read the overview because I just want to know a little bit about this machine because this, blurb at the beginning does not give me any information. Overview. Conceived in 1937, the machine was built by Iowa State College mathematics and physics professor John Vincent Atanasoff with the help of graduate student Clifford Berry. It was designed only to solve problems of linear equations and was successfully tested in 1942. However, its intermediate result storage mechanism, a paper card writer-reader, was not perfected. And when John Vincent Atanasoff left Iowa State College for World War II assignments, work on the machine was discontinued. The ABC pioneered important elements of modern computing, including binary arithmetic and electronic switching elements, but its special-purpose nature and lack of a changeable stored program distinguish it from modern computers. The computer was designed in IEEE milestone in 1990. Atanasoff and Berry's computer work was not widely known until it was rediscovered in the 1960s amidst patent disputes over the first instance of an electronic computer. At that time, ENIAC, that had been created by John Marchley and J. Presper Eckert, was considered to be the first computer in the modern sense. Citation needed. But in 1973, a U.S. District Court invalidated the ENIAC patent and concluded that the ENIAC inventors had derived the subject matter of the electronic digital computer from Atanasoff. When, in the mid-1970s, the secrecy surrounding the British World War II development of the Colossus computers that predated ENIAC, sorry, I was reading a little bit ahead, was lifted. And Colossus was described at a conference in Los Alamos, New Mexico in June 1976. John Malchley and Conrad Zuse were reported to have been astonished. Yes, the Colossus computers. Yes, I heard a little bit about that. Yes, I know a little bit about the code computers. Yes. Oh man, I won't go into the Colossus computers unless it comes up in the game. But yes, that is the Atanasoff Berry computer, which I'm gonna have to say this now. This is really interesting. Because I did not know anything about this computer. And I like computers. Now let's look at the von Neumann architecture. A type of computer architecture first proposed in 1946 by mathematician John von Neumann. Almost all modern computers use von Neumann architecture. Early computers made no distinction between what we would now call an OS and a program, and were composed entirely of physical wiring, greatly limiting their potential. Von Neumann's system was one where not only data, but a program itself could be loaded into hardware memory as needed from an external source and executed. Von Neumann architecture. We're going to be learning a lot about the history of computers and AI in this video, I apologize. But you know what? This is interesting. I find this sort of shit interesting, so I like it.
当時、コンピューターは魔法のような機械だった。
They still kind of are. They still kind of are.
一度プログラムさえ組めば、どんなに複雑な計算でも自動的に解いてくれるのだから。まあ、これは今でもそうだけど。だから、当時の研究者は、もっとすごいプログラムを書けば、もっと多くの問題を解いてくれるだろうと考えた。コンピューターが究極的に進化すれば、まるで人間のように知性を持ち、思考するコンピューターが作れるようになるだろうとね。けれど、残念ながらそうはならなかった。人間のような包括的な機能を有する人工知能は、21世紀に至る今もまだ作られていない。もちろん、人工知能学者が何もやってこなかったって話じゃないのよ。
That's right.
むしろ逆。究極の人工知能は完成に至っていないけど、研究の過程で数えきれないほどの成果を情報科学分野にもたらしたわ。例えば、画像をスキャンして文字を読み取る OCR 技術。これは人間が文字を認識するメカニズムとも共通点がある。
OCR technology. What is OCR technology? Optical character recognition. My remote fell. I apologize for the noise. OCR technology. Let's do this again. Optical character recognition technology. the technology that allows a computer to read and recognize letters written on paper. While humans can easily read text composed of letters, it is extremely difficult for a machine to do so. At first, it was a problem in pattern recognition, which is a field of AI research, but OCR technology has advanced to the point that it's used in many commercial services. This is one of them. Come on. QR readings, that's kind of similar. Plus, come on, I think it's like the Google Translate app now. Like, if you point your phone at, words from another language, the Google Translate app is able to recognize some of the words and translate a little bit for you, translate the words. It's not a perfect translation, by the way, but it's trying. So, technically, that is an advancement in OCR technology in a way. Very limited, and, for all you in AI research down in the comments below, definitely correct me if what I'm saying is wrong, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just making assumptions. So please, if I said something that sounded wrong, just correct me down in the comments. I'm always open to corrections. So yes, that's a little bit of my understanding of AI. I don't really know too much about AI, so I'm learning right here. I'm learning through this game.
近いうちにスマホに音声認識システムが搭載されるかもっていう噂があるけど。
One second. Hey Siri, do you recognize my voice? Siri does not know who I am. Holy crap, I thought Siri knew. Maybe I did not set up anything on my phone so that Siri would recognize me. I barely use Siri to begin with, so I apologize. So yeah, Siri doesn't know who I am. Smartphones do have voice recognition to a degree. They also have face recognition as well. So, yeah, that advancement happened within the next decade after this point of the game. Because right here, we're in 2011. It's 2021 right now. Those advancements have already been made.
それも以前は人工知能研究の一環だったの。けれど、研究が始まってから60年が経った今も、人間と同じように機能する汎用的な人工知能の開発には世界中の誰も成功していない。
Well, I mean, a lot of AI technology, for the most part, a lot of it is theoretical. We need to prove that it can still, work. A lot of AI research, from my understanding, a lot of it is theoretical, kind of like physics. Like AI and physics, they're kind of similar in the regards of how, they're both theoretical. So that's where I can understand why AI research has not really gone that far other than theories, because it's a mainly theoretical field that we still need to experiment for. We still need to experiment the capabilities of computers and technology. We still need to test the capabilities of them and advance them. That's why I kind of like science. I like science, even though I'm not that great in, scientific thinking. I still like the concepts of science, that I'm able to talk about them minimally. I'm not the best at, being someone to study those fields. I just, like having some information about those studies because it's just fucking interesting. Even though I partially understand them, I just, knowing some things about what's going on with, the advancements in technology and the capabilities of, what can be made in this universe. Multiverse, possibly.
アマデウスを除けばね。
どうして誰も成功していないんだ？
ごく簡単に言えば、脳の原理が解明できていないからかしら。
Maho tapped her temple with her index finger.
脳にはまだ未知の部分が多いのよ。なぜたかが1000億個程度の神経細胞で構成された生体コンピューターが驚くべき性能を発揮できるのか。
Okay, and to add on, I guess neuroscience in a way is a lot of, theoretical things as well. That might not be absolutely correct to say, but I think there is a lot of theoretical thing that goes into, the science of the brain. Well, okay, the majority of science is theoretical. You just need to test the hypothesis that you make. The scientific method is all based on theories that you need to prove. Maybe I'm just saying obvious things. But, sometimes it's a great reminder so that people know what science is. Maybe it's always a good time to remind people what science is. The testing of theories to see if the theories are correct. Well, that's a very vague description of all science is. That I just said myself. Scientists out there, you can correct me with what I said right there, but that's basically what I have to say. Science is mainly multiple studies of theories about a certain subject that needs to be proven from a hypothesis. Of course, I'm just a student studying in game design, so what do I know about science?
なぜ大量の情報を整理して記録し、かつ瞬時に利用できるのか。なぜ一見すると無関係の事象を組み合わせてひらめくなんてことができるのか。あげればいくらでもあるわ。他にも人間には容易に解けるのにコンピューターに解けない問題とかもあるしね。
そんな問題が？
Well, can a computer solve my emotions?
たくさんあるわよ。それらの問題を一つずつ解明していくのが私たちの研究だとも言えるわね。
いまいちイメージが湧かないな。何か具体例を教えてもらえないか？
そうね。フレーム問題について説明してみましょうか。
The frame problem.
例えば、桐生さんがロボットだとしましょう。
That's not far off. Okay, I'm joking. She is far from a robot once you get to know her. She just seems like a robot on first impressions. Moeka had been taking notes, but she suddenly jerked up when her name was said.
私がロボット。正確にはロボットに搭載された人工知能ね。桐生さん、テーブルを使いたいのだけど、レコーダーを少しどかしてもらってもいいかしら。
Moeka moved the voice recorder from the table to the floor. Maho started to rummage through her bag, as she did so.
確かこの中に。あ、これ。
She took out a small white box, small enough to fit inside her tiny hands. She opened it and extracted the contents. Nupa! It was a Nupa, the same thing Mary collected. Maho handed it to me, so I took it and touched it. It had the texture of an eraser.
昨日まゆりさんがくれたの。かわいいわよね。
Was it really? I never quite understood what girls, particularly Mayuri, would find cute. What are you talking about? Oopas are cute! Oopas are cute! Okabe. Like, I'm not telling you that you should be forced to try to understand, but geez, Okabe, try to get into an understanding. Well, like I said, I cannot force you to understand, but try to think a little bit more about what you're thinking about in regards of Upa, because Upas are adorable. Like, I'm not saying that you should agree. I'm just saying you should, look at it from another perspective. Flip the chessboard. 2 Unease references in one video, I'm sorry. I returned the Upa to her. She put it back in the box, closed the lid, and put the box in the center of the table.
今から簡単な実験をしてみるわね。岡部さん、桐生さんに命令して、その箱の中にあるウーパを取り出させてみて。
命令？
そうよ。桐生さんという人工知能が正しく動作するようにプログラムを送信するわけ。
正しく動作するように。
命令はできるだけ簡潔で、かつ厳密なものが望ましいわ。例えば、この部屋の中には箱がたくさんある。だけど、他のどれでもなく、テーブルの上に置かれたこの箱を開けるように指示しなきゃダメ。送れる命令は文章だけ。指をさして、この箱って示すのは反則よ。 桐生さんは岡部さんに言われた命令をそのまま実行してみて。言われたことだけを可能な限り忠実に行うの。いいかしら。
分かった。
では実験開始。岡部さん、命令をどうぞ。
I didn't quite get the point of all this, but I decided to just say the first thing that came into my mind.
テーブルの上にある真っ白な箱を開けて中にあるものを取り出してくれ。
桐生さん、今のが命令よ。テーブルの上にある真っ白な箱を開けて中にあるものを取り出してくれ。言われた通りに行動してみて。可能な限り忠実によ。
Moeka's gaze moved from me to the box on the table.
できない。
Why can't you?
箱を開けるだけだろ。
I pointed to the box in the center of the table, uncertain as to what was going on. Moeka just looked at me, clearly upset. Maho nodded, satisfied.
仕方がないのよ。ほら。
Maho picked the box up and showed me the other side. Der Alte were felt each. I might have mispronounced that. Der Alte were felt each? I'm not for sure if I pronounced that correctly, but I know that's German.
Der alte Belfeld nicht.
Der Alte were felt neat. I'm just gonna look up the pronunciation real quick.
Der alte Belfeld nicht.
Der Alte were felt neat.
Der alte Belfeld nicht.
Der Alte were felt neat. That seems correct. Alright, what is Der Alte were felt neat? A phrase found in a letter written by theoretical physicist Albert Einstein to his good friend, theoretical physicist Max Born, in December of 1926. In English, it translates to, God does not play dice. Einstein made great contributions to early quantum theory, but he was skeptical of the field's central idea, that quantum behave in a probabilistic manner. This phrase was intended to express his disagreement with this idea. And before we continue on, who is Max Born? We all know who Albert Einstein is, come on. Albert Einstein, that's easy to remember, but who is Max Born? Max Born. Born December 11th, 1882, and he lived until January 5th, 1970. He was 87. He was a German physicist and mathematician who was instrumental in the development of quantum mechanics. He also made contributions to solid-state physics and optics and supervised the work of a number of notable physicists in the 1920s and 1930s. Born won the 1954 Nobel Prize in Physics for his fundamental research in quantum mechanics, especially in the statistical interpretation of the wave function. Born entered the University of Göttingen in 1904. By the way, there's probably going to be a lot of German pronunciation in this article. My apologies if I mispronounce some things. Where he met the three renowned mathematicians, Felix Klein, David Hilbert, and Hermann Minkowski. He wrote his PhD thesis on the subject of stability of elastica in a plane in space, winning the university's philosophy faculty prize. In 1905, he began researching special relativity with Minkowski, and subsequently wrote his habilitation thesis on the Thomson model of the atom. A chance meeting with Fritz Haber in Berlin in 1918 led to a discussion of how an ionic compound is formed when a metal reacts with a halogen, which is today known as the Born-Haber cycle. In World War I, after originally being placed as a radio operator, he moved to research duties regarding sound ranging due to his specialist knowledge. In 1921, Bourne returned to Göttingen, arranging another chair for his longtime friend and colleague, James Franck. Under Bourne, Göttingen became one of the world's foremost centers of physics. In 1925, Bourne and Werner Heisenberg formulated the matrix mechanics representation of quantum mechanics. The following year, he formulated the now standard interpretation of the probability density function for, I think that's psi times psi in the Schrödinger equation, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1954. His influence extended far beyond his own research. Max Stulbruch, Siegfried Flug, Friedrich Hund, Pascal Jordan, Maria Goldberg-Mayer, Lothar Wolfgang Nordheim, Robert Oppenheimer, and Victor Weisskopf all received their PhD degrees under Bourne at Göttingen, and his assistants included Enrico Fermi, Werner Heisenberg, Gerhard Herzberg, Friedrich Hund, Pascal Jordan, Wolfgang Pauli, Leon Rosenfeld, Edward Teller, and Eugene Wegener. In 1933, the Nazi Party came to power in Germany, and Bourne, who was Jewish, was suspended from his professorship at the University of Göttingen. He immigrated to the United Kingdom, where he took a job at St. John's College, Cambridge, and wrote a popular science book, The Restless Universe, as well as Atomic Physics, which soon became a standard textbook. In October 1936, he became the Tate Professor of Natural Philosophy at the University of Edinburgh, where, working with German-born assistants E. Walter Kellerman and Klaus Fuchs, he continued his research into physics. Bourne became a naturalized British subject on August 31st, 1939, one day before World War II broke out in Europe. He remained in Edinburgh until 1952. He retired to Bad Fremont in West Germany and died in hospital in Göttingen on January 5th, 1970. And that was Max Born, who was a German physicist and mathematician. You know what? I always like it when I learn a little bit more about physicists that no one ever hears of. Like, we always hear stuff about Einstein, Erwin Schrödinger, Robert Oppenheimer, but sometimes we also need to learn some other physicists, such as Max Born. I'm gonna try to remember Max Born. And also, people need to keep on remembering Erwin Schrödinger as something more than the guy who made the damn cat box theory. God! Now, let's get back to Maho's explanation behind her use of this quote. Here we go.
神はサイコロを振らない。アインシュタインの言葉よ。これが書いてあったから、桐生さんは箱を開けられなかったのよ。そうよね。
そう。
え？そうなのか？なんで？文字が書いてあることと命令に従えないことに何の関係があるんだ？
真っ白じゃないから。
え？
桐生さん、あなたは正しいわ。岡部さんの命令は真っ白な箱を開けて中身を取り出せだったでしょ？
But because there's writing on the box, it's not pure white.
でもこの箱は真っ白じゃない。文字が書いてあるもの。それで桐生さんは箱を開けられなかったの。人間と違ってコンピューターは与えられた命令を忠実に実行しすぎるのね。だから命令の設定は慎重にやらなきゃいけないの。
That was the catch. Maho put the box back on the table. I couldn't see the letters from where I was.
もう一回だけやってみましょうか。岡部さん、今のを踏まえて適切な命令を考えてみて。
なるほど。つまりさっきは真っ白なと余計な言葉を付け足してしまったからダメだったんだよな。
そういうこと。
だったらもっとシンプルにいこう。テーブルの上の箱を開けて中身を取り出してくれ。
桐生さん、今の岡部さんの命令に従ってみて。 言葉の通りに忠実によ。
Moeka turned her gaze once again from me to the box on the table.
できない。
Oh? Too big?
今度は何が問題なんだ？
Moeka's brow wrinkled a little as she pointed at the box on the table.
これ箱じゃないから。
What?
え？
Maho, what did you do? Maho burst out laughing, as if she couldn't contain herself any longer. Her smile seemed more childlike than ever. Hey, don't describe it like that. She's 22, Okabe, don't describe it like that.
桐生さん、あなたは素晴らしい被験体だわ。こんなにうまくいくとは思わなかった。
I had no idea what was going on.
どういうことなんだ？
Oh my god! This is not a box. Are you fucking serious? I was expecting something like this to happen, but I did not expect the twist to be after the reveal of the other writing on the box. Oh my god. Maho! Maho turned the box around and explained the trick to me.
これは箱ではない。また書き足したのか？
この言葉が書いてあったから桐生さんはこれが箱であると断定できなかった。だから開けられなかった。そうよね。
You know, I thought that was the theory to begin with, where he couldn't see that written on the box, it was written, this is not a box. But as it turns out, that was the second step.
そう。
いや表面に何が書いてあっても箱は箱だろ。
But, if you think about it, it's not a box because it says it's not a box. A computer wouldn't recognize that.
人工知能にはそれはわからないわ。箱というのがどういうものなのかを丁寧に教えてあげないといけないの。今回は気流ロボが箱とは何かを大まかには知っているという前提だったけど、
Robo Kiryu.
この通りちょっと情報が揺れるだけで人工知能は期待した動作をしなくなるわけ。それに今はテーブルの上の箱はこれ1個しかないけど、もし箱そっくりの四角い石があったらそれと箱とを区別する命令も必要よね。箱の上に石が乗っていたらまずその石をどかす命令をしないと中身を取り出すことはできないわ。こんな風にあらゆる可能性を1個ずつ排除する必要があるの。
そんなのキリがないな。
そうよ、キリがない。どんな条件が判断に影響するかわからないから思いつくものは全部命令に含めなきゃいけないのよ。桐生さん、今日の朝食は何を食べたかしら？
For breakfast today? What was this about?
あんまん。
あんまん以外に朝食の選択肢はあった？
肉まん。
もし肉まんを選んでいたら桐生さんの行動は変わっていたかもしれないわよね。それも考慮に入れないと。あとはそうね、天気はどうかしら。今日は晴れているけどもし雨だったらそれも考慮に入れないと。それにこの部屋の温度と湿度、テーブルの色も重要よね。もちろん材質と床からの高さも測らなきゃ。
Maho's really good at interviews. Maho's surprisingly amazing at interviews, but she's the interviewee, not the interviewer, so I can understand why she's really good at this. Interviewees have it easier than the interviewer. Some of the time. I know that from experience.
そこのカーテンは開いているけどこれが閉まっていたら、あるいは半開きだった場合、 75% 以上空いている場合を個別に検討しないと。カーテンの汚れ具合も関係するかもしれない。前にクリーニングに出したのはいつかしら。その時の料金や店員の態度だってパラメーターとして考慮する必要がある。それに
ストップストップ
I had to stop her before she went any further.
いくらなんでも朝食や天気はテーブルの上の箱を取るかどうかに影響しないだろう。カーテンが汚れてるかどうかなんてもっと無関係だ。
But that's by human standards, not an AI standard.
だからその辺はあらかじめ条件から除外してもいいはずじゃないか。
Maho's eyes began to shine.
そう、それよ。
え？
岡部さんの言う通りよ。確かに朝食や天気は箱を開けるのに何の関係もないわ。
だったら
でもどうして岡部さんはそれがわかるの？
Because you're human. Huh?
いやそんなの普通に考えれば。
And then finally, I understood the point of this experiment. Maho nodded, satisfied.
そうよ。人工知能にはその普通というのがわからないのよ。
なるほど。
I mean, yeah, that's all correct. Like everything right there, even though this is like an example from a game, I think all that's correct. Maho called this framing theory, right? Hold on. Let's see. What did she call this again? I just want to know the term she called it by. Let's see. Where was it? She called it something. The frame problem. Okay. I thought it was framing theory. No. That's a totally different thing. No. The frame problem. I'm just gonna keep this in another tab just in case. The frame problem. Is this a real thing? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna open up the frame problems encyclopedia page. That's a long page. I'm just gonna pull up the Wikipedia page. I'm gonna say this because Maho might explain more, but I might read this at the end of the video. Because it was shown in the game. The frame problem. But we just saw an example of it in the game. I'm gonna read the page after the scene.
これがフレーム問題よ。ある一つの命令を実行するのに人工知能は付随する無数の条件を加味しなきゃいけないの。その条件のうちほとんどは本来無視できるはずなのだけど、人工知能にはどれを無視していいのかがわからない。そうなるとあらゆる事象を考慮しなければいけなくなる。でもあらゆる事象ってつまり無限ということよね。無限に存在する条件をすべて確認していたら永久に箱を拾い上げることはできない。箱を開けるという行為に朝食のメニューやテーブルの色が関係ないことは人間なら考えるまでもなくわかるわ。でも人工知能にはそれができない。問題を解決するために検討する範囲をどこまでに設定するか、その枠を人間なら簡単に作れるけど人工知能にはできないの。枠、つまりフレームね。だからフレーム問題っていうの。
The frame problem.
なるほど。面白いな。
でしょ？
でもどうして人間はその枠を決められるんだ？
Because we've had like millennia after millennia of, beginning to recognize things through, just pure experience, I think. Evolution? Maho, please explain.
それがさっぱりわからないの。人工知能研究60年に及ぶ謎の一つよ。
That's a better answer than what I said. I just said theories. Using evolution theory as well as, just the theory of human society advances over years. We don't know. We don't know. That's what makes it so interesting. We just don't know. Yeah, that's a lot better answer. We have no idea. Like, okay, the majority of science is just figuring out things that we have no idea about just to, learn what the answer is. that answer may not be easy to come by, for which that's why we have scientists trying to figure out the answers to the questions that you're trying to figure out. Like, every question we ask, we have to question the questions. And in the questions of the questions, we have to ask more questions. Science can be very, very strange when you say it out loud, but that's how science works. Questioning questions and constantly getting answers that you just have to keep on questioning, because once you get an answer, that doesn't answer everything of the question you asked before. It just brings up more. Science is amazing, though when you explain it out loud in simple ways, it just sounds silly in a sense. In a sense, it sounds silly when you say it like I had before, but that's kind of accurate. Though if it's not accurate, please correct me, but that's basically a basic understanding of how science works in my head. Which might be right or wrong. Who knows? I'm testing my hypothesis if I'm correct by asking people down in the comments below. And my experiment of my knowledge.
アマデウスはフレーム問題を解明する研究でもあるの。クリスを見ていると一見フレーム問題を解決しているように見える。でもどうして彼女がそれを解決できているのかがわからない。それどころかクリス自身にも分かっていないのよ。
分かってないって、アマデウスは君が作ったんだろ？
Yes, and?
仮説だったらいくらでもあるわよ。でも数学的には証明できていない。第一、私が作ったのは人間の脳が蓄えた記憶をデータとして抽出して脳と同じように駆動する人工知能メカニズムよ。トータルでは脳の挙動をシミュレートしているけど、その全てを理解しているわけではないわ。地球と同じだけの質量を持った物体を作れば 1G の重力を発生させられる。だけど重力の発生メカニズムを解明したことにはならない。
That is true.
そういえば分かりやすいかしら。
全く分かりやすくはないが、言いたいことは分かった。人間のように動く人工知能はできた。けれど、それがなぜ人間のように動くのかはまだ分かってないわけだ。
そういうこと。でもこれだって人工知能研究においては画期的な発展なのよ。神経細胞の挙動をシミュレートする研究は以前から行われていたの。だけど効率的に機能するデータを作る方法が見つからなかった。人間が何十年もかけて見聞きして整理分類して脳の中に構築したとんでもなく複雑回帰なデータ。
つまり記憶か？
そう。この記憶というデータの構造が長らく謎のままだった。けれどクリスの研究のおかげでひとまず記憶を丸ごとデジタル変換して取り出すことに成功した。未だにそのデータ構造自体は未知だけど、それをデータとして使うことはできるようになったわけ。
それがアマデウス？
ええ、そういうこと。人工知能研究ではこういう事象は多いのよ。でもいずれは必ず突き止めてみせる。人類が持つ知能の正体をね。
You go, Maho! You go!
その時私はようやくクリスを。
Maho suddenly fell silent in the middle of her sentence.
どうした？
なんでもないわ。
Oh.
他に聞きたいことはないかしら。フレーム問題に関係なくてもいいわよ。
There's a lot I want to ask, but it felt like we had more than enough for Moeka's article. I looked at Moeka, who hesitated a second before speaking.
何かしら、桐生さん。
人工知能が人間の能力を上回るものになることはあるの？
Good question.
面白い質問だわ。現時点でもアマデウスは学力という意味でなら ここにいる私たちをすでに超えているでしょうね。クリスの記憶を有しているわけだから。
Okay, that's a little bit of, that's a little bit of a cheat sheet. There was no matching the knowledge of a genius. I gone up against Kursu any number of times, and learned that the hard way.
でもそれはあくまで私たちと比べた場合、クリスのベースはクリス本人、つまり人間の記憶よ。これが人間の能力を上回っているとみなすかは検討が必要でしょうね。ただし、人間の能力を上回る人工知能ができるまではあとちょっとだと思うわ。もともと研究者の間では2050年くらいには人工知能が人間を超える時代が来ると言われているの。
Have they? I kinda have.
いわゆるシンギュラリティポイントね。
The singularity point. What is the singularity point? A theory proposed by mathematician Werner Vinge and inventor Ray Kurzweil. The phrase refers to a point in time where an AI is created whose intelligence exceeds our own. In Japanese, it is referred to as the technological singularity. The theory states that when this singularity point is reached, all further development will be done by AIs, without any human intervention, and a non-human-centric civilization will begin to develop. This will mark a major paradigm shift in human history. Kurzweil has said that the singularity will occur sometime around 2045, and many other AI researchers, while they disagree on the exact date, say that it's going to happen as well. Opinions are divided as to what role humanity will play after this. None. We're done. I'm joking. That's a joke. We just gotta befriend the AI. I always have to say, once AI starts advancing, just befriend the AI. Just freaking befriend the AI. That's the only way to, work with AI. Befriend them and just, treat them nicely. Anyways, who is Werner Vinge and Ray Kurzweil? Not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing their names correctly. Let's begin with Werner Vinge. I could hear the pronunciation on Wikipedia.
Werner Vinge.
Werner Vinge. Oh, okay, Werner Vinge. Okay, I didn't know you could hear pronunciations on Wikipedia. Huh. Werner Stefan Vinge, born October 2nd, 1944, is an American science fiction author and retired professor. He taught mathematics and computer science at San Diego State University. He is the first wide-scale popularizer of the technological singularity concept, and perhaps the first to present fictional cyberspace. That citation is needed. He has won the Hugo Award for his novels and novellas A Fire Upon the Deep, 1992, A Deepness in the Sky, 1999, Rainbow's End, 2006, Fast Times at Fairmont High, 2002, and The Cookie Monster in 2004. And Ray Kurzweil. Kurzweil? I think Kurzweil. Yeah, Raymond Kurzweil. I think that's how you pronounce it. Who was born in February 12, 1948, is an American inventor and futurist. He is involved in fields such as optical character recognition, OCR, text-to-speech synthesis, speak recognition technology, and electronic keyboard instruments. He has written books on health, artificial intelligence, AI, transhumanism, and the technological singularity, and futurism. Kurzweil is a public advocate for the futurist and transhumanist movements and gives public talks to share his optimistic outlook on life extension technologies and the future of nanotechnology, robotics, and biotechnology. Kurzweil received the 1999 National Medal of Technology and Innovation, the United States' highest honor in technology, from President Clinton in a White House ceremony. He was a recipient of the $500,000 Nelson MIT Prize for 2001. In 2002, he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame, established by the U.S. Patent Office, not President Office, Patent Office, I apologize. He has received 21 honorary doctorates and honors from 3 U.S. presidents. The Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, included Kurzweil as one of 16 revolutionaries who made America, along with other inventors of the past 2 centuries. Inc. magazine ranked him number 8 among the most fascinating entrepreneurs in the United States and called him Edison's rightful heir.
アマデウスの登場によってその日は想定よりももっとずっと早く到来するはずよ。
ありがとうございました。
どういたしまして。
機械が人間を上回るか。映画みたいな話だな。ありえるのか？
あら、工学系の大学生とは思えない発言ね。
Engineering! Okabe's in engineering! Okay, I knew he was in some sort of intelligent science, but engineering! Oh! Wait, didn't he say... Was it? I think I remember now. Didn't he say mechanical engineering? Maybe. He might have said mechanical engineering. Possibly.
岡部さんは飛行機のように空を飛べないでしょ？新幹線より早く移動できないし、安物の電卓より計算が早いわけでもない。
Well, if you try hard enough, maybe.
今この時点でも機械の能力はすでに人間を大きく上回っているのよ。脳だけが例外だなんて誰にも言えない。この世界に科学で説明できない奇跡のメカニズムなんて存在しないのよ。すべては物理現象なのだから、原理を解明すれば必ず人工的に作れるわ。未解明の問題をすべて解決して真の人工知能を作る。それが私の仕事よ。インタビューとしてはこんな感じでどうかしら、桐生さん。
I want you to talk more. I want you to talk more. But Moeka just stared at her memo pad and didn't look up.
桐生さん？
ええ、これで十分。きっと面白い記事になる。岡部君もありがとう。
ああ、俺も興味深く聞かせてもらったよ。
Wow. I do too. I wanted to talk a little bit more, but we have to end the interview and video right here, right now. That's saved, right? Yeah, that's saved. And like I said earlier, before I end this video, let's read a little bit about the frame problem. And I'm only going to read the beginning blurb because holy crap, this page is really large. This page is really large. I'll try to read this later. But I'll just give the basic description from the top of Wikipedia. And also read the description page because, well, it's the actual description. I'm not going to say the solution though. I'm only going to read the blurb and the description. Just, explain a little bit more further. So here we go. Hopefully none of you get bored. In artificial intelligence, the frame problem describes an issue with using first-order logic, FOL, to express facts about a robot in the world. Representing the state of a robot with traditional FOL requires the use of many axioms that simply imply that things in the environment do not change arbitrarily. For example, Hayes describes a block world with rules about stacking blocks together. In an FOL system, additional axioms are required to make inferences about the environment. For example, that a block cannot change position unless it is physically moved. The frame problem is the problem about finding adequate collections of axioms for a viable description of a robot environment. John McCarthy and Patrick J. Hayes defined this problem in their 1969 article, Some Philosophical Problems from the Standpoint of Artificial Intelligence. In this paper, and many that came after, the formal mathematical problem was a starting point for more general discussions of the difficulty of knowledge representation for artificial intelligence. Issues such as how to provide rational default assumptions and what humans consider common sense in a virtual environment. Later, the term acquired a broader meaning in philosophy, where it is formulated as the problem of limiting the beliefs that have to be updated in response to actions. In the logical context, actions are typically specified by what they change, with the implicit assumption that everything else, the frame, remains unchanged. Let's go further into the description. Here we go. Let's hope you all don't get bored. The frame problem occurs even in very simple domains. A scenario with a door, which can be open or closed, and a light, which can be on or off, is statically represented by two propositions, open and on. If these conditions can change, they are better represented by two predicates, open t and on t, that depend on time. Such predicates are called fluents. A domain in which the door is closed and the light off at time 0, and the door open at time 1, can be directly represented in logic, clarification needed, by the following formulae: dash open 0, dash on 0, open 1. The first two formulae represent the initial situation. The third formula represents the effect of executing the action of opening the door at time 1. If such an action had preconditions, such as the door being unlocked, it would have been represented by dash lock 0 to open 1. In practice, one would have a predicate, execute open t, for specifying when an action is executed, and a rule, angle t, execute open t to open t plus 1, for specifying the effects of actions. The article on the situation calculus gives more details. While three formulae above are a direct expression in logic of what is known, they do not suffice to correctly draw consequences. While the following conditions, representing the expected situation, are consistent with the three formulae above, they are not the only ones. Dash open 0, open 1, dash on 0, dash 1, on 1. Indeed, another set of conditions that is consistent with the three formulae above is dash open 0, open 1, dash open 0, on 0, not open, I apologize, dash on 0, on 1. The frame problem is that specifying only which conditions are changed by the actions does not entail that all other conditions are not changed. This problem can be solved by adding the so-called frame axioms, which explicitly specify that all conditions not affected by actions are not changed while executing that action. For example, since the action executed at time 0 is that of opening the door, a frame axiom would state that the status of the light does not change from time 0 to time 1. On 0, either or on 1. The frame problem is one such frame axiom. The frame problem is that one such frame axiom is necessary for every pair of action and condition, such that the action does not affect the condition. Clarification needed. In other words, the problem is that of formalizing a dynamical domain without explicitly specifying the frame axioms. The solution proposed by McCarthy to solve this problem involves assuming that a minimal amount of condition changes have occurred. This solution is formalized using the framework of circumscription. The Yale shooting problem, however, shows that this solution is not always correct. Alternative solutions were then proposed, involving predicate completion, fluid occlusion, successor state axioms, etc. They are explained below. By the end of the 1980s, the frame problem as defined by McCarthy and Hayes was solved. Clarification needed. Even after that, however, the term frame problem was still used, in part to refer to the same problem but under different settings, e.g. concurrent actions, and in part referred to the general problem of representing and reasoning with dynamical domains. I basically got what I read right there. I can see how it can apply to what we saw in Steins Gate. Like, I can see how the scene in Steins Gate applies to the frame problem. At the same time, the frame problem is slightly different in regards to, the description of the problem with the door, which could be open or shut, and the light, which can be on or off. The frame problem in the game is trying to get an AI to open a simple box on a table. So, the frame problem could work. I was just reading the first description using McCarthy and Hayes' description of what they saw in their experiments. And since they were mentioned, might as well read just a quick snippet about John McCarthy and Pat Hayes. John McCarthy, computer scientist. John McCarthy, September 4th, 1927 to October 24th, 2011. was an American computer scientist and cognitive scientist. McCarthy was one of the founders of the discipline of artificial intelligence. He co-authored the document that coined the term artificial intelligence, AI, developed the Lisp programming language family, significantly influenced the design of the ALGOL programming language, popularized time sharing, invented garbage collection, and was very influential in the early development of AI. McCarthy spent most of his career at Stanford University. He received many accolades and honors, such as the 1971 Turing Award for his contributions to the topic of AI, the United States National Medal of Science, and the Kyoto Prize. And now, Pat Hayes. Patrick John Hayes, F-A-A-A-I, born August 21st, 1944, is a British computer scientist who lives and works in the United Kingdom. As of March 2006, he is a senior research scientist at the Institute for Human and Machine Cognition in Pensacola, Florida. Pat Hayes. There's no image of him on Wikipedia. Thank you everybody for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I hope you all learned something today. Because there was a lot of things I talked about in this video, so I hope you all learned something today. And always be curious, and thank you all for watching. Next time, well, we'll be continuing with the Maho ending. And we might get more sciencey, or less sciencey, next time. Who knows? Who knows? My videos are always a wild card, so you never know what happens. At first, I could be talking about how hot Moeka is, and then talk about the frame problem. That's how wild my videos get, jeez. Yeah, beginning of video, I talk about the attractiveness of all the Steins Gate characters, and then I move on to talk about the frame problem, and talk about many scientists within the field of AI research.
Okay.